gonna be late. Hey! Dude, I am so filling your suit with snow. Are you still wearing your suit?
Yeah, just in case.
It's gonna be fine.
The launch of the PS5 was not an easy one. To this day, there is still not the easiest thing to get your hands on. There are a lot more possibilities now for sure, but for the past 2 years Sony has been struggling keeping up with the demands. In my case, I was able to pre-order one with 2 months in advance, and when the 12th of November came, the PS5 was in my hands. Now it can be easier to get one, but Sony has raised the prices in some regions unfortunately, so it's up to you if you still consider it's worth it. So I got to use it for all its lifetime and I got some impressions. This is not a review in the proper way, but rather I just want to share my opinions about it. The big change from the PS4 was that the PS5 is backwards compatible with the last gen, so even at launch you were still able to play a big catalog of games, even if they were not upgraded yet. These came in time with new releases of games or upgrades to older titles like Ghost of Tsushima or God of War 2018, with more to follow. For me, the first proper PS5 title that I got was Spider-Man Miles Morales. Even if the first game was not that old yet, the graphical updates and the fast loading time were already visible for me. Sony was not that fast with releasing new features quite yet, but eventually we got some pretty good ones, like expanding the storage with an SSD or VRR. Better late than never, I guess. There were also some minor changes to the interface as well, but nothing too major from my point of view. Yes, you are able to reorder the menu now, which I actually did. I like to have the power option right on the spot, as I had it on my PS4. There are some other changes, but I will not even mention them, as they are not that important for me. I'm still waiting for theme support, as we had on the PS4. I remember getting the free Last of Us Part 2 theme with my Steelbook order, and it was so nice using these from my favorite titles, but unfortunately we still don't have those on the PS5. Since releasing the PS5, Sony has also made changes to its subscriptions. Basically, Sony moved forward from their PS Plus subscription and created other three, the Essential, Extra and Premium. You are probably aware what they offer in each and one of them, so you may have a pick by now. I'll just say this, from my point of view, the best one will be Extra, as they offer quite some things on top of the Essential ones, like the catalog, and the Premium one could have been the best one, but the extra games are, as they say it, streamed, but also a pretty small catalog. Sony added also the PlayStation Stars, which is a pretty cool addition. Not my cup of tea with owning digital art, but I know this can be used by a lot of gamers. For me, I still use the Essential one, which is basically the old PS Plus subscription, as if I wanted to upgrade, I can do that for 1 year only. In this moment, I have paid until January 2025, so in order to do this, I have to pay for the entire period. That's why for now I will not upgrade anytime soon. On top of it, I still think these subscriptions don't come even close to the Xbox Game Pass, and in my opinion, Sony should make some changes quickly. But my impression is that Sony is not doing this quite yet, as they still think they can rely on their first-party titles. And I gotta say, that's a pretty big shield to protect them. This is actually my favorite part of owning a PlayStation. My all-time favorite games are all from here, well, with a couple of exceptions like Zelda Breath of the Wild. I love Uncharted and I've played it so many times. I even paid for the upgrade to the Legacy of Thieves collection and replayed the 2 games that come with the bundle. I was amazed when Uncharted 4 came on the PS4 and I was again impressed on the PS5 release. On top of that, there is also the Last of Us series, and even if I think the remaster of the first part is way too expensive, I still love this game. We then have the Spider-Man games, with a new one coming in 2023, we had the Horizon Forbidden West released earlier this year, and of course the God of War. The 2018 game was a masterpiece, and I've been playing all weekend on the new release of God of War Ragnarok. By the way, I did an unboxing of the collector's edition, so make sure to check that one as well after this video. I haven't finished the game yet, but so far it has surpassed the original one for me. I really recommend you playing it. Since launching 2 years ago, Sony has added also a couple of new accessories for the PS5 as well. We already got the impressive DualSense controller, which is one of my all-time favorites. It's so well made and ergonomic for my hands, and I was blown away by the functionalities of it, especially the adaptive triggers. I can't really describe how it feels, so I highly recommend you trying it out for yourself. Sony even added a free game with Astro Playroom, which on top of being a fun game, it will take you through each and one of the functionalities of the DualSense controller. At launch we didn't have other color options for the controller, but after a while Sony announced 2 new colors with red and black, and I bought the red one at the launch as my secondary controller. On top of these 2, Sony also released a couple of more colors for both the controllers but also for the removable plates, and we even got recently a collector's edition for the DualSense with the release of God of War Ragnarok, and I couldn't resist getting my hands on it. Related to other accessories, personally I only got the DualSense charger, which I find very convenient. I had one with the PS4 Pro and I never had issues with the battery life as they were always on the charge when I wasn't playing them. So I highly recommend getting one, which is pretty cheap and you wouldn't have to use an USB-C cable anymore. As of creating this video, Sony already announced some pretty important other accessories with the Pro Controller, which is basically Sony's version of the Xbox Elite controller. This is the first official Sony Pro Controller and it looks to be a feature-packed one. This will be released in January, so we'll have to wait and see. And there is also the PlayStation VR 2, which will be released in February at a pretty high price of $549, but it looks to be a pretty powerful headset, but I'm curious how many will pick one up. So that's pretty much what was released in PS5's 2 years lifetime. There are a couple of rumors of a PS5 Slim or even a PS5 Pro in 2023 or 2024, so I'm curious what Sony has prepared for us. For me, the PS5 is still the console to get, especially for the first party titles, but I truly think Sony should look in the neighbor's yard and try to keep up with the services as well. I think if it wasn't for the big titles, things wouldn't have been the best for Sony. But that's just my opinion, so let me know what you think. Did you manage to get your hands on a PS5 yet? What do you like or don't like about it? Let me know in the comments, I would love to hear your opinions. And before you leave, I prepared a cool video on how you can enjoy your PS5 titles with remote play on a Steam Deck. I'll link it here for you, so make sure to check it out. So that's it for now, this is the Tech Unravel and I'll catch you in the next video.